Hello, and welcome to Montana's Peer Network's How-To video series. I'm Andy, and I'm the social media coordinator for MPN. Montana's Peer Network is a peer-run statewide recovery organization that has been a leader in recovery-oriented behavioral health services in Montana since 2011. Enjoy the video.
Hey, I'm Jim Hajny. Welcome to another video in our How-To series. Today we're going to be talking about how to present peer support to an agency or an organization. So this could be the organization that you work for. This could be an agency or an organization that you want to work for. This could be at a local advisory council meeting. Okay? Lots of places that you could present peer support. This could be a potential employer, somebody you want to do a contract with. Maybe you want to go in and you want to volunteer. And so you need to go in and you need to kind of lay the groundwork ahead of time. So I've put together just some bullet points of things that have made my presentations successful, things that I do going in, and that's what I'm going to be sharing today. All right? So how to present peer support to an agency or organization. So the first thing that I have to say is preparation. You must prepare ahead of time. I can't state this strongly enough. Far too many people go into opportunities and don't prepare, and they just kind of show up and they just sort of wing it. And I'd tell you, don't do that. Prepare ahead of time. So that means you're going to have to call or email somebody, or maybe it's face-to-face and you're going to talk to them. You're going to set up a date and a time for you to come in and do a presentation. So this could be at a shift briefing. This could be a staff meeting. This could be a learn over lunch. You know, a lot of healthcare facilities do learn over lunch. So at lunchtime they cater in some food and they have somebody and they come and they do like some skill building. Whatever it is, plan ahead of time, pick a date and a time, and then you need to lay out, as part of your preparation, you have to make a plan, lay out a plan. What are you going to say? What do you want to say? How are you going to answer the tough questions? Because there could be some tough questions, and not only prepare in what those tough questions might be, how are you going to respond? Okay. And we'll go over some of these as we move through. So first thing is you're going to plan. Can't stress it enough once again. Okay, the second part in the planning is provide some handouts. I have this thing, whenever I do a presentation, I like probably 90% of the time, I always have handouts. This is something I can give to the audience that they will take with them and hopefully read later or pass on to the person who wasn't there, who didn't get to see the presentation, who didn't get to ask the questions, and I didn't get to answer them. I always bring stuff. So what do I bring? Well, for Montana's Peer Network, we have About Us forms, we have membership forms, we have brochures on recovery. It depends on my audience. That will depend on what I'm handing out to people. But there are some really good ones out there. And so some of them that I highly recommend is the 10 Guiding Principles of Recovery from SAMHSA. So you can go on the SAMHSA website and they have wonderful brochures. They have handouts. They have all kind of documents around this. 10 Guiding Principles of Recovery from SAMHSA. Highly recommend this. This is the basis of peer support work. You might want to bring the definition of a behavioral health peer support specialist as outlined, okay? And so bring your code of ethics, scope of practice, okay? And any kind of information on how peer support can play a role in the agency's service array. So what I mean by this is you're going to have to do a little research. Find a program around the nation that's using peer support in if I'm talking to a hospital emergency room, I might go find a peer support program that's already running in Michigan and bring some information about it. Or if you have a slideshow, or if you have internet access, you might actually pull it right up on the screen and show people. Sometimes it'll be in document form. Okay? And then if you feel like you're going to need some backup, maybe you have a tough crowd, evidence. And you can find evidence of the effectiveness of peer support. SAMHSA, there's a wonderful guide. It's called Peer Support Integration, and it's from the National Academy for State Health Policy. So most state entities will probably be familiar with this organization. They put out a lot of great information, but they have one in particular called Peer Support Integration Guide. You just Google that, it'll come right up. National Academy for State Health Policy. It came out in January 2016, and it really lays it out. Plus, it's beautiful. It's full color and has fancy pictures. So you're going to make a plan. You're going to consider what kind of tough Q&A questions. You're going to outline what do you want to convey? What do you want to say to these folks? They're giving you their time. And whether you have 10 minutes or you have 50 minutes, it doesn't matter. Prepare ahead of time. Have these things with you. And you might make your own little packet. You might pull a little bit from here and a little bit from there and put it all together. Paper clip it, staple it, put it in a folder or something. Really depends on who you're presenting to, what's going to be appropriate, okay? The next part is recovery talks. Yeah, so those of you who've been through the training, use the model. Recovery talks, okay? Share your recovery experience. Now, you're not going to sit there for 30 minutes and go through every little thing that happened. This is fast. This is 5 minutes or less. How your life changed because you're in recovery. This is the most important part of peer support. This is the most important part, okay? Why do you want to do this type of work? So if you're talking to a potential employer or maybe a current employer, maybe you were just hired and there's staff that has questions, and so they're like, hey, Jim, come to the next staff meeting prepared to do a presentation for 15 minutes on peer support. These are now your coworkers maybe. Or these are people who you want to partner with to start a peer support program in their agency, okay? So you're going to prepare and you're going to consider, what do I want to say to these folks? What's most important? And, you know, keep it short, simple, to the point, all right? You're going to give them some documents, something in their hands. That's really important. You're going to share your recovery story. I am a peer supporter because when I was really sick and I was in the hospital, I met a guy who provided peer support to me. Those of you who've heard my story, I share that with people, and it's very powerful. That's my motivation. Okay? And then the last part is you definitely want to do Q&A with this one. Now, Q&A can be tricky because there can be, as I said in the beginning, tough questions. People can say, well, why do we need you? We're all licensed people and we've gone to school for years, and why do we need a lay person working here? What are you going to say? You're going to tell them, because of my lived experience, I can be a valuable part of this team. And I'm not here to replace anybody. I'm here to fit in with the services already provided and enhance what you're doing. Right? You're going to say that in your own way. But open it up for Q&A. Let people ask questions and create a dialogue with them. So you've given them some evidence, you've given them some documents to take with, you've shared your story, you've said the things that you want to say, and then you're going to have this dialogue. And at the very end, you're going to thank them for their time. If you're going into any kind of facility, an agency, time is precious, right? So if they give you an hour or they give you 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. Use the same format, and you can do it. And this is how we're changing the whole system. We're getting peer supporters in all over the place. And it's exciting, and it's new, and it's fresh. And people want peer support. So if you take these steps, you follow this guide, you will have a lot of success when you present peer support to an agency. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. See ya.